Ugh, reading? We're on YouTube because we don't read. Ayo guys, now bear with me just for a sec while I try to make my point. I'ma repeat what a lot of YouTubers have already mentioned, and that is to read manga of bad anime adaptations, but also that you should read manga of good anime. I think it's still very important to bring up bad animes because that's a very good reason to pick up manga. Of course, The Promised Neverland Season 2 was a disaster of an adaptation of the manga, and it raises the question to anime watchers. Are you ready to read manga? Am I even qualified for this discussion? Because should I wait until I've read even more manga, specifically this series, to put out an even more convincing reason to actually read more manga, or why you should read the manga of your favorite series? Seriously, The Promised Neverland Season 1 was so good, and after the second season skipping so much of the source material and giving us literal garbo, it gives you the decision to go on your days with that hate in your heart after watching that, or get a second chance at redemption, salvation. It's the manga. And maybe the manga will never be as good as Season 1, but it has to be way better than Season 2, and no way can it be worse. Okay, maybe it won't be satisfying, but no way can it be worse than Season 2. And of course, it's not only The Promised Neverland, because of course we have the Tokyo Ghouls of this world. I've made countless videos about Soul Eater, and of course 7 Deadly Sins. I'm sorry, I can't say that with a straight face. I mean, the anime was poorly animated. It's still pretty well adapted, but maybe you'll enjoy the manga more. Maybe. But enough with the bad anime, because I don't want to repeat the same old story of read the manga of poorly adapted animes, but how about we just revisit good animes but with the manga? How many times have we wished that our minds could be selectively erased and we could experience that one anime again like the first time? Unfortunately, life sucks, but we have a different media that we can consume, and you know what? It hits different when you read it. Of course, this is really subjective, but the big three are great anime series. Sure, they have their issues, but they are bona fide classics. One big issue that plagues these anime series is of course the issue of pacing, but luckily we are getting Netflix produced the One Piece anime remake with MAPPA and Toei, and hopefully we will get the definitive edition way to watch One Piece. But also hopefully one day Naruto and Bleach also get the rightful readaptation of the manga that they deserve. However, fans are still pretty concerned because what if the new anime isn't as good as the current anime? Well, thankfully, I know people will still complain, we still have the original anime to watch and consume, but you know what else is just as great, if not better? The One Piece manga. I am currently rereading it during the making of this video, and I have been loving it. Of course, the One Piece fan will love it. I'm also current with the manga, but I just gotta mention that I really love the art, and of course, it's a lot faster to get through than the anime. And you know what, these scenes still hit, and maybe even harder now, the way that Ichiro Oda intended. Because one of the most pivotal One Piece scenes that got me to love this series was the Nami help me scene, and guess what, when I got to that panel in the manga, I got so choked up while reading it. I'm telling you, it hits different when you read the manga. And plus, sometimes the art in the manga might be way better than the anime. I also read Naruto way back when I was finishing up, and I gotta say that I much preferred reading the manga versus watching the anime. And once again, the panels still hit the same like the scenes in the anime. But of course, the one thing you can't compare is that the fights are gonna be better animated, but it's still fantastic in the manga. And you know what, sometimes the art isn't better compared to the anime series, let's be honest, but the manga still feels like a completely different experience. You can really savor these panels while you read, and really look at them and just like admire the art and intentions. Attack on Titan is a modern day classic, but if you compare the manga to the anime is better animated, it has a better style in my opinion, but the manga still scream the emotions, the pain that these characters were going through, and I still think that it's worth reading. And of course, you still get some very great, very nice panels and spreads, but what's really fun with Attack on Titan, especially if you collect manga, is that you can get the colossal editions, and you can hold while you read these giant Titan-sized hardcover mangas, and it's just a whole ass workout, and I love like that it fits the theme of these giants in the show. And before you start commenting that it's more of the same content, the anime can't always adapt everything. If you don't know One Piece, they have cover stories in the manga that have not all been fully adapted in the anime. Another thing to consider is also Kaguya-sama Love is War. They actually do have the movie date from the first episode, and they have many more battles that never actually made it into the anime. And also very comparable is also Komi Can't Communicate, where it's very episodic in the manga as well, and I'm sure that a lot of little mini chapters were not included in the anime. Or sometimes scenes or panels just need to be cut from the anime because they need to be censored, just like when Dio wanted to cut traffic and the population. Of course, it's alluded to in the anime, but in the manga you get to see it all. And on the topic of censorship, a lot of manga actually stays uncensored, and I have mentioned this on my other Mato Seihi no Slave video, or Chain Soldier for you guys in the West. If you like the anime, you for sure need to read the manga. It's superior in every way. You'll thank me later once you read it, but it's not just, for very ecchi stuff. You can also get a lot more violence in manga, especially if you compare it to some very popular animes that of course need to remain censored because of obviously they're too popular and a lot of people are going to watch it, and of course TV laws and all that. But let's take a couple steps back and get on the topic of JoJo's, because this alone deserves a video of itself, because the manga is just a work of art. But of course, I don't think I could make a video that does its justice, but just hear me out here. As I said, JoJo's is a work of art. They also have amazing deluxe hardcover editions. The manga and anime, the art styles, at least to me, are night and day in my opinion. But of course, if you aren't a fan of black and white manga, you can find the colored versions of the manga online, and of course that's another different vibe. Many fans of course prefer the colored manga, but sadly there is no physical colored copies as of yet. I hope one day that they do make that. So that's also two different ways to experience JoJo, but it's not that different. But how about we take the opportunity to experience the story 3 different ways with One Punch Man? You get the amazing, wait, let's do the math first. Amazing first season, good second season. I really like the second season, but I know everyone complains about it, and we carry the one. A great anime adaptation. And then we have the serialized manga where we have Murata just put his whole pussy into the manga. And I know that Murata is a man, but he puts his whole pussy, I don't know any other way to describe it. He does the most amazing artwork in the manga. Like, yeah, damn, bro. Fubuki is just the main reason why I started reading this manga. Okay, that's enough of being a degenerate. I mean, the art with the battles, just everything, every panel, you get to a panel and it's just magic. Because how is it this good when you compare it to the webcomic by, of course, the granddaddy of them all, One? One is of course the mastermind behind One Punch Man and also Psycho Mob 100, and if you have never seen his webcomics, of course you don't know the disparity between both the art styles in the webcomic and of course the manga. I'm gonna put up some comparable panels right now, but One's webcomic still has its charms. I don't want to completely shit on it. I still think that it's worth checking out if you still have an itch for more One Punch Man. Additionally, it's not completely one-to-one. There are differences from the manga and the webcomic, because just look at the difference between all the mediums. There is a vision in the webcomic, of course, that Murata just completely makes it his own. It's all really worth going over, because especially right now that the anime isn't fully adapted to the source material. I mean, the story hasn't concluded in the webcomic and the manga, and we've been waiting for season 3 forever now, and it's insane. Why even announce it and not even have a date in mind to release it? But like I said, it's very worth going back and catching up with the story. I know that One Punch Man doesn't have a crazy story to follow, but it's so fun to catch up because we don't know when season 3 is going to come out. But there's so much more content there that we can experience through the manga. And of course, once it's animated, that's still a completely different experience because we're going to get all the music, voice acting work, and of course, the great animation. And if we're still on the topic of waiting for a new season for an anime, Fire Force Season 3 was announced and we have received no updates on that, and the manga has concluded. So we still have the manga right there to read, so why not read it? And once again, I'm not here to say that the manga is better. I just want you guys to read more, and especially if you want to re-experience those favorite animes, you can do it with the manga. And you know what, last point, sometimes you just gotta get away from everything, especially because we're just so dependent on being online, and we can escape by reading. We can escape this online media hell that we call life. And yeah, if you're an anime only, you will for sure miss the amazing OST, the fantastic voice dubs from the Japanese or your respected language of choice. Spanish always be putting out these banger dubs.
Ya me quiero ir.
Ah, como chingas, ya mejor vete.
And of course, you're gonna miss the sexy ass animations like the mini menace that Levi is absolutely destroying giants. But two things you can never compare is, of course, buying physical manga. There's something about just holding and appreciating the original author's intentions and just reading it is just great. And second of all, that's really important, is that you can stay up to date with the current manga series, and you'll be there front row and center with the weekly discussions of new chapter drops, and avoid massive spoilers if you remain anime only, because if you're online or on Twitter or social media, you're going to see spoilers. And you can say you'll avoid it, but you're not going to. That shit is going to get spoiled, because every Jujutsu Kaisen spoiler leak has been just shoved in my timeline against my will. I am for sure gonna get off Twitter and social media once we are close to getting to the One Piece. I want to raw dog that fucking chapter. I don't want to know anything. Please, God, give me the strength to avoid these spoilers. I'm going to buy a flip phone. I'm going to have to get off the grid to avoid these spoilers, because I know it's going to be almost inescapable. So yeah, everyone watching this video, yes you, why not just start reading manga? You don't need an excuse. You don't need to watch a bad anime and just have the reason like, oh, now I can check out the manga. No, if the anime is good, check out the manga too. It's great. I'm just tired of the same old reason that a lot of people started reading manga was because you watched X anime, it was really bad, and the manga was way better. And of course, that is still a very valid reason. There are a lot of animes that just don't compare to the manga, but you don't need that excuse, especially if you haven't watched a bad anime and don't care about those certain bad animes and like it enough to even read the manga. Just, you know, if you love One Piece, read One Piece. If you love Attack on Titan, read it. If you like Demon Slayer, even if the manga might be a downgrade, you should still read it. But that's enough of me yapping, guys. We have reached the end of the video, and please don't forget to leave a comment. Let me know what are some of your favorite animes that you should definitely check the manga out for. Or let me know which one of your favorite animes actually push you to read the manga without having the excuse of, hey, it's a bad anime. Let me know, what was your favorite anime that actually led you to reading the manga? I of course made this video because I'm reading One Piece right now and also keeping current with the manga, and I've just been reading a lot more manga lately, and you know what? I just enjoy reading, and it's really fun when you have a weekly manga to follow. Even if that weekly manga is Rent a Girlfriend, I enjoy it. It's my guilty pleasure. And you know what else you gotta do is you gotta like this video, and don't forget to subscribe to get more videos about me just yapping about anime and manga. Thank you, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching, I appreciate you. Read One Piece.